Great. Okay, so I'll get started here today with the Tech Thursday training on smart plans. When you log into Command, you'll see this screen, hopefully contacts or the home page. We want to start with those two. Just to completely cover everything, I want to let you guys know where everything is at. Starting off on the left-hand side of the menu, from top to bottom, where are all these things? What are these buttons? So to give you a quick dive into the command dashboard, our CRM, the homepage will have a overview of tasks. Tasks are going to be a part of your smart plans. So in the smart plan, you're sending out email, um, text message, if you apply that to your smart plan, and you can also set up a sequence of tasks. Those tasks can be for you to call them. So there's set of reminders that come in a set of that timeline in that smart plan, and you will get that notification, and it'll appear here in your tasks. Tasks can also be filled by you personally going into your contacts. This happens easier on your phone if you go to your phone's app. Now, there is a app for your Keller Williams website. We've talked about this before. The app for the website is going to be a white Keller Williams logo in the App Store. Your app that you use to control your CRM on the back end is going to be a red app. And that indication for me is the red KW logo when you log in. So that tells me, okay, remember it's the red app. When you log in with your app on your phone, open up a contact, you will see, or automatically as you log in, you will see a button on the bottom. The navigation kind of looks different, but the main thing is this quick button when you're in a contact card or you're on your phone in the app, you get a lot of different shortcuts that you can use right away, which could be very efficient to logging information on your contacts or any communication in between you and your contact. From the start, we'll have to go through some settings and make sure that you're syncing up with your email. So that also gets logged. But if not, if you're on your phone calling, you want to log the information, you'll log it as an activity. If you want to add a note while you're calling, executing on those tasks of calling back, sending an email, you want to write a note. Yes, I contacted this person. Remember, whatever we track builds traction. Definitely record every effort of communication. So if you want to do something where you're adding a note on the client's conversation, that would be a note. If anything happens on the call in the event that you are following up, you want to create a calendar event regarding maybe a next appointment, you can do so here, but it doesn't reflect your actual calendar unless we go through the syncing process. And the syncing process will be in the settings above. Another thing you can do is add a smart plan from the contact card. This will allow you to add a smart plan to one person. If we go back a step, back into contacts, we will see all of our contacts in here. There's another shortcut to set off a smart plan that I want to show you here before we go into all of the smart plans. It will make sense at the end. And I think it's so important to know the next step after we're done with the smart plan. So I'll give you guys a spoiler right now. If we select all the contacts with this button here, right next to full name, you've selected everything on the page. You need to go down to the very bottom and adjust what is being shown first if you want to mass select everybody completely. Now, I don't have many people, but this will change if you do have over three or four, 200 or 300 people. You may have a second page here even after you add 500. So make sure that you are mass selecting, send or add to Smart Plan, go to the next page, mass select, add to Smart Plan to send it to everybody. That's a quick shortcut to start a Smart Plan. Another shortcut to start a Smart Plan could be by adding a tag. The way we set up our Smart Plan will determine whether or not we can use the tag feature. As you can see, my tags are organized here in the center. The tags are pertaining to what category my clients are in, whether they're friends or family, whether they came from a open house in the east side. I can create as many tags as I want. It's important to separate the tags that are going to fire up your Smart Plan and the tags that simply filter out your contact groups. Once we kind of see where we can send these Smart Plans, it makes things a little easier, and we know the finish line is not too complicated. Otherwise, going back and forth into that process it could be a little tricky. Again, just to finish going down the line, on the left-hand side, after contacts, we have a summary of all your tasks, an extra feature. You use it or you don't. The collapsible menu with tasks or kind of like a shortcut menu is already on the home page. But if you want a full view of it, it's right here. You will see there's past due, due today, due in the next 7 days, and due later. That's important because it highlights the time, but it also could signify a couple things too, like the priority. There are no high priority tasks, but well, I guess there is one when I did a training last. But if you would like to see the highest priority, simply click on the label of the column and it'll show you exactly how to see everything from the highest priority or what is due immediately. If you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me at any point. It doesn't bother me at all. But let's continue to the Smart Plans. So in Smart Plans, you got to close out these blue bubbles. Then you can see everything. In the library, we have a list of all the Smart Plans that everybody in the KW world can contribute to. You can send up a Smart Plan, publish it, and open it for everybody to use, or you can come here to utilize what everybody's already using and have proven to perform really well. Judging by this amount of downloads, the amount of stars here and reviews, I will base my decision and probably choose the best monthly call plan. As we're searching, you'll see there are so many different monthly call plans. The one we want to look out for immediately to activate as soon as possible is called a monthly neighborhood nurture. I looked up monthly and this came up. Normally, I would type neighborhood and it would come up as well. We want to go for the one that has the most amount of downloads. It was published in 2019, so I'm not expecting it to be super robust. It has one email, it's one touch, and then which is the actual neighborhood data. This is not something you need to edit. This is something you just need to activate on your client. What it does is it sends out a list of new homes available in the neighborhoods that they're interested in based on their contact card. So we want to go back a step into the contacts to kind of really show you where that ties in, because essentially as we add this Smart Plan to your library, I cannot download it because it already exists. So I go back into my Smart Plan. It should be there. I should be able to search monthly and it should pop up. What gets this going? Monthly neighborhood nurture, my monthly call plan, one touch. It's my monthly call plan, I'm pretty sure. Or is it my neighborhood, monthly neighborhood? Monthly call plan. I might have changed the name. And it still keeps that original link or data behind the smart plan, even if you change the title. So that could be something you would encounter from multiple downloading. And so to go back to the contacts, to go back to that smart plan and how we start off that smart plan, this is the most important one that I hope you guys do to everybody you are working with right now. After you download the smart plan, go into the contact card and add neighborhood. We can do it in two ways by adding the neighborhood to this list by selecting on the map, or we can start typing it out. We need to edit this here by adding add neighborhood, and then you get the option to search Bellevue, and it'll give you different options here to choose from, or you can select find on map, which I find is very easy. Again, two fingers if you have a mouse pad. Really cool feature once you find out that works and helps a lot, especially with editing graphics, all that fun stuff. But if I go and want to go into the city, I can probably select more areas than one much quicker. So going deeper into Bellevue, into Kirkland, into Seattle, I can go click, 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 all of these areas, all of the waterfront areas, neighborhoods that have a waterfront property across the water here. I think you guys get the point. So if I save that, and because I have a neighborhood update, a neighborhood smart plan, I will go into add a smart plan for this specific contact. I already have one there. I'm going to delete it, remove, yes, remove. This is a fake contact. And so I will go in here to add smart plan. Again, on the tab, activities, we have timeline, opportunities, smart plans. We want to add the smart plan, select the smart plan, my neighborhood nurture, my neighborhood my neighborhood nurture, my neighborhood nurture. Back then it was clever when I renamed my smart plans, but now I don't remember why I did that. Start now, confirm. I have read the TCPA disclaimer that says that we need to basically have permission to solicit. If they give us their email, yes, this says, yes, they did give us our email, and we are allowed to send them a message. If you want to learn more about telemarketing rules, things like that, Janine is somebody who can really explain everything. She's our designated broker, and she is also the director of compliance. If you have any questions about that, please ask her anything, logistics, compliance. But now that we've added the smart plan to this specific contact, they should immediately, as of today, it's like, is it the 16th? I thought it was the 17th. As of today, receive an email. If I go into the timeline, I could now see the report of what's been sent. So as of today, it happened so quickly. 2 minutes ago, I added the smart plan. Now my contact is getting neighborhood drip campaigns of Madison Park, North Mercer Island. Yes, Sandra.
JC, in this case, this contact has 17 neighborhoods. Does this person receive like 17 different emails, or in one email he can visualize all neighborhoods? And how does that work? Because I can see only one neighborhood by my checking here on my command, but how is that for the person who receives it?
Uh, different emails, different emails.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So this is the email that they
Mm.
get that has a link to the snapshot of that neighborhood. Oh, I don't know if you guys see my full screen. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Uh, Perfect. When they get an email, it's much more simple. And oh, we have people in the waiting room. Admit. Oh, okay. Once you receive or uh, that client receives the email, it'll be simple. Hey, click here, and then it opens up. It isn't as overwhelming as it seems, but it definitely separates each by those neighborhoods that we select, and it comes up as a full market snapshot. I really like that I'm able to see a preview of the email within the contact card itself, because then that gives me peace of mind. I know people are kind of concerned about how it looks like when it appears, but here is also a list of all the nearby neighborhoods. This actually might be a new feature that they added on, which is giving them the opportunity to look. One thing that I know that is really a step ahead into this is, let's say they look at properties. You gave them the market snapshot. They look into the property and hit save. You will also get a notification in your inbox. It will probably appear as a notification on top here, which will see the tasks that I have due. But based on what they click when they receive that market snapshot, will appear here in their saved searches in the contact card. So this I know has helped someone in our office reconnect with an old lead just because they were checking, they had a tasks that had them follow up with the person and ended up checking the contact card and saw that so and so had already saved multiple homes or just looked at a property that he sent out 6 months ago. And so, as a way of keeping tabs, but not really keeping tabs, but just understanding where they are, you have the data here as well. I hope that answers your question. And I hope that was interesting about that part too. Any other questions before we continue?
Do I need save searches for the same person so he can see only the homes in that price range, or he's gonna receive everything?
Everything in that area. You could get a little bit more specific with other tools. Yeah, that's just how it is here. Only based on the neighborhoods and then what's available. But I'm actually certain that there are other tools in the NWMLS that will be able to send them something a little bit more specific based on the homes, uh, bedroom count, bathroom count, all of those details. Yes, we should do a class about that. If you guys want to send me an email at any point after receiving my um, summary for our class, feel free to tell me if you guys have any suggestions for classes that we can do next. I'm happy to organize them, bring a guest speaker in, find the best people to help out with that. But my goal is to give you guys the best updates for our tools, marketing, and tech. Let's do it. Yes. What's
It's
your
me
question?
again, sorry.
Hmm?
Okay, how do I send this kind of my monthly neighborhood nurture for a contact that I have only the phone number? I don't have email.
You have to get the email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. Sorry. Then we want to go into the smart plans editing to see who we can send out to. You know what, Sandra? If it's simple to do a smart plan that adds a text and you can text them through here, you could technically send them the link. We opened up the market snapshot. We have it. If you add it to the contact card, it will say undelivered. So you could really, it's a step if you don't have their contact information. But what I would do is say, hey, this is an awesome email that really covers everything about this specific neighborhood. I know you're looking at all of the things here. It's so cool. Send them this link. Copy and paste the URL. Would you like to see more about other neighborhoods? It works better by email and then see what they say. Let's do it. Okay. All right. So in that smart plan, now I'm thinking a little bit more in depth in how to customize the smart plan that I have. There's a neighborhood nurture. I can even add a task to see if that message got delivered or not, because that would be a really telling sign if they gave you the right email. And that happens too if somebody scribbled their name and didn't write the correct email or it isn't legible, then a cool part of adding these neighborhood nurtures is you can manipulate them after you download the smart plan itself. So the email that goes on immediately is the snapshot, which is auto-generated. There's nothing that we need to change or modify about it. It goes to the client. It has all the details, and then it continues to send it monthly. We can add in a task, update the neighborhood field, add to smart plan, monthly neighborhood. We can add more layers. So let's do that here. So with a published, downloaded smart plan, all right, I'm going to go into library. Oh, actually, I'm going to go back to Smart Plan and search for what I just downloaded, which was the monthly neighborhood nurture, supposedly on March 12th, 2025. So my monthly call plan or my monthly neighborhood nurture has one touch, duration is 31 days, and it repeats. Those are the details that we can see from this layout. If I click on this down button, I can see a little preview, sends immediately, repeat, and smart plan. If I go into the pencil button here, this applies to anything whether you download it or you create it on your own starting fresh. When you have this layout open, what it is the left side, it's divided into 3/4. The left side is our tools. The center is our timeline. The right-hand side are in-depth details of what is highlighted. So on the left-hand side now, nothing is selected. Repeat, we can't edit. But we can duplicate this and then add on to it. So I want to go back down to, it's not letting me edit that. Make a copy, confirm, copy of. Now I'm going to go back into editing this. Then I can have the ability to manipulate this plan a little bit more. So what I want to do, oops, is this the My Monthly Call Plan? This is not the My Monthly Neighborhood Nurture. So I'm going to go back. But in that same context, you're able to now My Monthly Neighborhood Nurture. Oopsie. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button too quick. So I'm going to type in monthly again. Go down. Oh, I cannot make a copy of this one. You know what? I am now realizing that this one is that smart plan that I cannot edit and make a copy of because it doesn't allow me anymore. So I'm going to start fresh with a monthly call plan or a monthly neighborhood nurture, or not a monthly neighborhood nurture, but a monthly newsletter, which I can pull from here from the library and then duplicate in that same way that I was showing you guys. So in the library, we're going to download another monthly neighborhood nurture that has been modified already. There is one that exists with a intro email, and that's the one that I want to download because it already has the neighborhood nurture and it has another email. So there's, you can notice here that it says one touch. I'm looking for something that has two or three touches. So my intro to monthly neighborhood, that's something. Intro to monthly neighborhood, that's something that's editable, that has that monthly neighborhood nurture feature. I think Sandra and I, we worked on something like this before where we were downloading the smart plan, saw that intro email, and then changed it to match what she would say in that first message. So my intro to monthly neighborhood nurture, I would go into the pencil icon here, add to my monthly neighborhood nurture. So what it did, and this is a little bit more of a step ahead because we're now thinking of combining two different smart plans, which is possible. As we're looking at this timeline, I want to go over exactly where things are again so it makes sense. The left-hand side is our tools, the middle is our timeline, what the email sequence is, all the details of the email. And as I click on that email, the preview appears on the right-hand side for me to start editing. So that first email that goes out, this is something that I would prefer to send out because I can actually add something a little bit more personal on top. So that personal message would say, hey, I hope you're doing well. It's great to meet you at the open house. This could be my open house monthly neighborhood nurture, which leads into the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan. It's great to meet you there. Um, would love to give you all of the details about any neighborhood that you're looking for, you're interested in the near future. Um, Happy to chat about things more. All these details here that you're seeing are highlighting the contact itself. So what that means is for anybody you apply this card to, this smart plan, it's going to reflect their contact first name, your name. If you have a team name, if you don't, delete that because it'll pull from another existing settings or nothing at all, and it'll just say team name. So modify this as much as you can, clean it up. This is pulling from your contact card, so make sure that your contacts are organized. If that hasn't been something on the top of your list, before we fire out those smart plans, we want to make sure that first name's in the first name card position, and then the last name is in the last name position in the contact card. KW app link is not something that we necessarily need to change because it's already embedded in the system. What are other things that we can add here? We can add our contact, can we? Signature. Signature is right there. We can add our signature here, adding new signature, creating a newsletter that has more of a updated design that will be in designs. What we are working with in the template itself is an HTML format. It's only text. There is no image. There's no JPEG feature here. You can't add anything different, a banner, something fancy. If you want to go fancy, let's go and create a design that we can add here. That works. It's easy, it's great, and we've got a couple designs created. We can pull from ones that are provided to us. There are different layouts. And so you can take them and edit them, make it your own, and format it for this specific. Hope that gives you more to think about. As we scroll down a little bit, just to complete the settings changes here, I want to cover what the date it's going to go out. It's going to be sent out on day one. It's going to be sent out immediately. Save changes, that's a timeline sequence that needs to be adjusted in addition to this right here on day one. Wait time, that is the wait time in between the first email and the next action step, whether it's a reminder for you to check on the contact card itself after the smart plan has been sent, like we were just talking about with Sandra's situation, that maybe we want to see, follow up with the emails that were undelivered, check if the emails were sent out successfully, make a description, a task for me to check on the message delivery status. Add step. Okay. I'll go over this as I'm going down the line. Again, with merge tag, you can reference the contact card. They're not going to see it, but you will, and you'll see it as check on the delivery message status of Joe. And that's a hyperlink too. So if you're checking it on your phone, you click on Joe's name, Joe will appear, Joe's contact card will appear on your phone, and then you can hit their phone number and it calls them automatically. If you're on the desktop, you won't be able to call unless you have a dialer, but you can see the number for a quick call. Hyperlink, if you want to add a hyperlink, a link from your URL, it could go there. Not necessary, could go in the description too. Not seeing why that would be super needed, but it's a separate line. Priority level, this is where we can push this up to the high priority. Do same day. Yes. When should this task be created? Day one, anytime. Also, this gives you an idea that we can make sure that the email is sent out early in the day, end of the day, afternoon, morning, whatever works, or anytime. So these are all the tasks that are added on day two. So they can, oh, the task is on day one. What I want to do is bring it down into day two after the smart plan has been sent. So I'm going to put it at the bottom, still on the same day, still under day two. 3 separate tasks. One to send out the smart plan. Adding this here means we can now go from one smart plan to another. Then send out a text message. The text message is connected to Twilio, and Twilio is a third-party text messaging platform. You need to apply for it through the KW Marketplace. It's a simpler way than going directly to the website. But if you go in through subscribe in the KW Marketplace, there are a couple ways to find it, but if you arrive at it here, clicking through that means you're going to select a phone number, a dedicated number. You can say 206, I want it 425, I want it 360. And you can select from all of the available numbers, like you're going to T-Mobile and asking them for a phone number. But the difference is here you're getting credits. So now we're subscribing to a set of credits that we can utilize for our text message. And to give you an idea of how many credits will sustain a text message, every letter and spacing counts. Every symbols, period, exclamation point counts. Um, the emojis will not appear as one character count. They might appear as three or not at all, depending on the receiver. So if that person's phone is not gonna see the data, it might not. It may be not an updated phone. Maybe they have to update it, maybe they don't. So I would keep it really clean. Doesn't have the ability to add images. If you do want to add a URL, that will be a URL that they can see and click on. So gonna see, I think we have somebody coming in. Angie. Okay. And so for this, the URL is going to give them that market snapshot. If in case they didn't get it by email, one text message is 130 characters. So that's one Instagram bio. And it's short, simple, keep it short and sweet. KISS. Create the task. We've talked about that. Now we can simply end it here. We can add more. We can layer in another email. We can add them to the newsletter so they can get two smart plans, one for the neighborhood, one for the data. When we create that smart plan, we're going to go into a new um, uh, tab and build it and then bring it in here and execute it. I'm going to do the execution now, that part, because I have a bunch of different examples I can use. So I'll use that for the meantime. And if we can make it through, we'll cover exactly how to start one from scratch, which honestly very simple. It's the same way we go through this, but it's starting new. So as I add that on here, I want to conclude my smart plan. Make sure that you're not selecting any box. This is selecting a box. This is selecting a box as well. The modifications that you'll see on your screen will appear on the right-hand side. As you see, the details will change as I click on the email, the smart plan. I get to modify the email itself. I get to look at, what smart plan it is. If I click on the day, now we're going to be able to modify the delay. How many days after day 2 do I want the newsletter to go out? Maybe a week. Maybe a week. They could get another call from me, but I can modify that to reflect 1 week. Did I save that? I didn't. Okay, duration. Oh, clicking on the box, clicked on the wrong box. Didn't save. Save changes. Now it appears in the center of our timeline just to double check. Day 1, day 2, day 9, 7 days after the second email is sent, they receive another activation for an email drip for their neighborhood update newsletter. Let's say it's the newsletter. Could have clicked the better smart plan instead of putting into another newsletter drip, neighborhood drip. Okay, modifying that really quick, clicking the smart plan itself, going to the pencil icon. Now I'm arriving at the top of the editing tool where I can select a newsletter. We have October newsletter. We have, let's do that, October newsletter. Save changes. Now that's done. This is just the tutorial portion. Not really worried. I'm going to send it to myself so I can see it through. Last, to conclude this, we talked about how to fire up smart plans. We can simply end it as is. We don't have to take any other steps. We can still utilize the smart plan if we hit save and we end this right now because we know that this is the title. My monthly neighborhood nurture updated. I might change it so I can remember it as we activate it for this tutorial. But if I wanted to utilize a tag to send out this smart plan, I would keep a list, an index of tags, ones pertaining to my filtering my groups of people, and then one pertaining to smart plans. So I'm not accidentally sending something to someone when I didn't mean to. So it'd be very critical to start off with that and make sure to outline whatever tags that you want. So for this, let's say I do have a tag already created. Eastside Open House Super Plan. I think that was the one that Sandra and I created as an example. Eastside Open House Super Plan, that is the tag that triggers this smart plan. I'm going to hit save. And then we already have those two game plans. One to send out the smart plan by adding it to the contact, mass selecting the contacts if I wanted to, or I can set it off with a trigger. I want to change this really quick because I'm going to go and follow through with the example, but I want to edit the SmartPlan name. So I'm going to do that right now with the date and keeping the rest. Keep editing, save plan. Make sure to save as it doesn't auto save and it won't pull back the data. In case your laptop dies, we've all been there, I'm sure. The data you've worked on will be lost. So make sure to save everything before you close your computer at the end of the day. So I already have an active Eastside open house, so I'm a little bit skeptical about it firing something else instead. So I'm going to create a new tag. In case we haven't created that tag, where do we start? Go into editing a contact card. We want to create a tag here. Typically, we create tags when we are filtering. This is a new way of utilizing the tags. There isn't another place to add a new tag. It's gonna be where it originally started, which is in the contact card, because the tagging mechanism was created to segment your contacts. And so we start here in the editing portion of the contact, any contact, and create a tag. So the tag I want to create for will be in alignment with my smart plan, just because I want to have that thing that I can use to remember what works with what. So I'll use the date and then I'll use neighborhood nurture um, as my tag. Then I get the ability to create a new tag from this point, choosing the color. This could also be a way for you to visually have that cue that red means smart plan, orange means smart plan, blue and green mean filtering out my contacts. I've created that neighborhood nurture. I want to go back, delete it because I want to utilize it for my smart plan. So what I want to do is go back into the smart plan and change the trigger tag so I can fire that smart plan today. Now, just in case you guys missed the last part, this will take 5 minutes to send out. It will appear in record on the Smart Plans page. It will also appear in the contact card. Like we talked about earlier, you are able to go into the contact card itself to see what happened during, the last forever since you added the contact, any email that was sent, that will be shown in the timeline. Uh, Especially if you have synced your Google account. So you need to sync up your Google account if you want the messages to be able to reflect whether or not I'm sending Sandra a message from command, or if I'm sending her a smart plan, or if I'm sending her an email through my Gmail. If I want the records of all email communications to be logged, within the contact card itself, I want to make sure to connect my CRM and my email through the API in the settings. So we'll go for that to really close things out, close the loop here. With JC, I'm gonna go in because I know she has a real email here, and I'm gonna send her the smart plan that we just created today. Again, smart plans, add to smart plan this with the trigger. That's easy. It'll go automatically without a doubt. The tagging, if I want to go here, select just JC, add a tag, add neighborhood nurture, quick shortcut, looks clean visually. I can see that here. If I want to open this up so I can see everything, I can do that. But now I'm going to go into the contact card to see how that's being logged. Over here in the timeline, as I'm going down, I have an AI summary of all the communications and everything that has happened. This is a new feature. We can explore this more by clicking on Learn More. But the email, there was an error immediately. My intro to my neighbor could not be delivered because the content has the following missing merge tag, contact last name. Oh, I don't have a last name on my contact card. So I will need to change that again, really solidifying that every contact needs to be filled out in that way. And it only is reflecting that because in the email, I have a space for the last name. So I don't really need it. I don't really need to have that there. I could modify the smart plan and then it can go out, but it is now subscribed to my neighborhood nurture. And so we know that they're going to definitely get that. The issue is the first email. Within the template card itself, it has a merge tag name for the merge tag for the last name on the contact card, which is not present. So I need to remove that in order for this to go on smooth. Here's the data that's telling me the red flags and where to go and change it. I know what to do now. But then to close out here with one final settings, because it pertains to emails and sending out consistent messaging, because it also affects and could positively affect the amount of communication that you are doing by logging it, by tracking it, and keeping everything all in one place, your CRM. In the settings portion on the top right hand, you will arrive here. And as you scroll down from the top, Lone Wolf is a new thing. I know a few of you have asked about that. We have just added that to our database. So it's something that the agents can take advantage of, be a good class for the near future. But what we want to do is connect our email here so that everything will be synced. If we have that contact stored in the CRM. It will not transfer all the contacts. It will not transfer all the emails. But if I'm emailing Sandra and Sandra's in my database, the communication between me and Sandra on Google and in Command will appear on my timeline. I hope this was helpful. I hope I can share more information on this, but I think I've arrived at a place where I think I've covered everything. Do you guys have any questions?
I have.
Let's do
I have
it.
so many questions, JC. No, no, no. I'm kidding. So you mentioned I can send a text, like when you create that plane, smart plane, you send a text, okay? And
Yes.
then I can copy the URL and paste inside the messaging. Can I change the name of that URL, like a neighborhood stats neighborhood or snapshot of neighborhood X, instead of just numbers and letters and dashes and these kind of things?
Mm-hmm. It would be something called bit.ly. Well, that's kind of like a shortener. Bit.ly link. Try this out, see if it might help. It's a link shortener, but there might be a way to customize it. Like add in um a name or a title. Is that what you're trying to say? Kind of like how you go
Yes,
in it.
yes. It's because I did the test and it comes like https kw.com area and the number. I'd like to change the name of the link to snapshot of neighborhood North Seattle. I don't know, any neighborhood, any different name, just to be more precise and to be more like not kind of a spam thing because I receive a lots of texts with links with numbers and letters that I don't click because I don't think it's like I can trust in that information. However, if I have the name, maybe easier because it's something Keller Williams and they can see my name and then they associate everything like it's trust. It's
Mm,
trustful.
I appreciate that. That's great feedback. I don't have the answer for it, but I'll kind of look into it and let you know if we can do that. There isn't a way to modify it, kind of like how an email you can add a URL and change the name because there's no URL like masking in the text itself. Even on your phone, if you were to send, let's say the the workaround is to create a task for yourself to send them a message and you personally go to your phone and text it to them, it will seem more credible and more safe coming from your number because it's a phone number that they might already have. But at that same time, the coding is different. The coding behind the the app called Twilio is a little bit, I wouldn't say not updated because I'll show you guys. Twilio, it's limited to characters. It's limited to HTML, like different graphics. It doesn't do well with emojis, and maybe it has changed. But from our command database sending it out, and the way we can modify it doesn't allow us to do that.
Okay.
So I think, yeah, I think it might be better
I
to
have
ask.
Okay. I do have one more question, but I can talk to you later. It is related to SmartPlan. I created my newsletter, so I sent to the ones I have email, okay. The ones I have only phone number, I did this. I created a SmartPlan for text, send a text, and then a short information. What was that? And I pasted the link for my newsletter, but it didn't work. The link wasn't working. So you have an idea how can I attach, I don't know how to, but just the link. So someone with the phone, just they are curious to check the news, they just click and open the newsletter.
Yes, I'm actually going to show you a trick that are we have now, which is the email. So segueing into Canva, if you create your newsletter through Canva, I'm doing that right now with creating an email and then just taking snippets of it and making a version in command. So like I organize it here. Great. I can take a screenshot of this and then now I can layer it in command in the designs portion, right? So with starting here, I can send it to Gmail directly, or I can grab a link. Now I need to change the permission settings here so anyone with the link can see it. But if I copy this link from the newsletter that I want to send out, I can send it to anybody and they can view it. And it's much more prettier and nicer. So I would probably do this instead.
But can I do this in command? I created everything in designs command, and then I copied the link and paste it inside the smart plan text. And this is huge. I think maybe the number of characters were over than 130, like you mentioned before. I don't know. The point is the link didn't work. So is there a way I can do this, make this work?
With where you're at, it would probably be better instead to go to routes. Yes, you have a link that you have for your newsletter. Test it out to see if it works on your browser first, because that link, when you open the email, does not mean when they open it, they're going to see it in their email the same way you do. So, just wanted to make sure, did you grab a link like, let's say, this one here with the neighborhood nurture sequence, or is it something that you built out in command, and did you send it to yourself? Like, where did the link come from, start from?
I
With
created a command and then I open like an HTML, copy the link and paste it
Mhm.
inside the text.
Okay, so HTML, that link will need to be run by another software in order to be viewed, like QuickTime, MP4. In order to see that, it needs to be run by like QuickTime. So what we want to
Oh,
do with the
okay.
HTML is convert it into something that people can view on the browser. Where we can do that easiest is to create a email design in something like Canva, but you want to create the design with a HTML. So we take this and then I think there is an upload button here. File, or you can actually download the HTML here version of this, but you want to convert it into an email that they can see with a link. So let's see, I'm going to try to play around here. Upload files, image files, folders, download it instead of seeing the HTML version. Download the design you created, upload it here, and then you can send the test email to yourself. You can grab the link version, but we need to have some way of converting it to a visible link for people, just like this. Bitly will convert it to be a shorter link. Canva will convert the HTML to a link that people can view, or build a new email here because it's just so much more robust and you have so many ways to edit it. But let's say I send this to myself, it it appears as is. It appears like I have mine connected. Um, I can send it to myself. Hi, to change that, and then we're kind of all set. You have a version of it that you can send out, a link version of it that you can use. I think Canva would be a better medium.
Okay, so you send it to yourself, then you open your Gmail,
Yeah,
copy the link of the newsletter, and then paste inside the smart plan text. That's it?
it would be this one here. Copy the link from here.
And then paste already straight to the smart plan text.
Yes.
I'm gonna try. Okay, thank you. I
You.
hope.
Your questions. Anyone else? I might convert the next hour to a office hour. So anybody who wants to stick around after Tech Thursdays, been a couple of times that I've hung out with people on the call even afterwards. So let me know if that idea works too. Again, just a final call to drop your email in the chat if you have any questions. I have Lori's. I'm going to send you out an email and everybody's email who I already have from this call. So let me know. Would love to chat more or give you guys more feedback, or maybe you can inspire me to create a new class next month. I appreciate your time and I appreciate your patience. Look forward to seeing you guys in person. Take care. Bye.